All right, so it's 2023 and you want to have your first profitable year as a day trader. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be showing you 5 steps you can take to actually get started day trading as a complete beginner. And some of the things that I'm going to be showing you inside of each of these steps are things I started doing recently last year in 2022 that finally helped me become a profitable trader and consistently make money month after month. So with that being said, super excited to show this. Let's go ahead and dive straight into the video. All right, so real quick before we dive into the steps, I just want to show you some proof that I am a profitable trader. So as you can see, this is the trading software I use. And if we go back to December of 2022, I'll just show you the past month or so. So as you can see, for the month of December, we only had one red day. I was able to stay green pretty consistently. So for December of 2022, we ended up making around $8,250 in profit with trading. And then if we go to this month, right, the current month we're in right now, so far we're off to a really good start for the new year. I'm starting to use more money to trade with. And for this month so far, we're only around 3 days into it. I'm at around $7,500 in profit so far. So hopefully this will be my biggest month I've ever had when it comes to trading. All right, so the first step you're going to need to take when it comes to starting day trading as a complete beginner, or maybe you've been doing this for a while and you just can't get profitable, is going to be education, right? Education is absolute key when it comes to first starting out day trading. I'm sure that's one of the reasons you're watching this video in the first place. Now, as far as education goes, I'm going to give you some of the resources that I use to actually learn how to day trade. So one of the things you can do is just watch free YouTube videos, right? There's tons of traders out there that are real, authentic, and they show their trade recaps pretty much every single week or every single day. So some of the free videos here on YouTube you can watch, these are people that I actually watch myself, people I trust and I learn from, are people like Umar. As you can see, this is what his channel looks like. He posts his trade recaps really often, and he does a really good job of breaking down how to trade, why he entered the position. So be sure to check out his channel. I know he does over 7 figures per year with day trading. I think he had one year where he did like $8 million or something like that. Another guy I listen to, another free videos I watch, is a guy called Jay Dunn Trades. He posts his trade recaps every single day. He'll post his wins, his losses, and he's very consistent at being green. He's a very disciplined trader. And the last person I watch is a guy named Brandon Trades. He has another channel. He posts videos every single day. And again, I think he's another trader that's really trustworthy. He's really good at using Fibonacci, support and resistance, supply and demand levels. So be sure to go check out his videos as well. And lastly, you can watch my channel. I post new videos every single week. I usually post my trade recaps, what I do, and everything like that. So anyways, that is where you're going to get education. You can either go the free route or you can take some paid courses. I personally haven't taken too many paid courses myself, but those are some of the resources and people that I actually get advice from and really how I learned to day trade. All right, so the second step you need to get started with day trading is going to be using some kind of brokerage to actually place your trades, do your technical analysis, all that good stuff. So I personally use Webull. I like Webull. It's really user-friendly. It's really beginner-friendly. There's no commissions on trades or anything, so it's completely free to use. And I personally just like using the charting system. It pretty much does everything I need to. I can trade options from it. I can put stop losses, right? Everything you need to do. The other route you can go as far as a brokerage goes is a platform called Thinkorswim through TD Ameritrade. That's what a lot of other traders use. So I'd either go with that or Webull. It's really just comes down to personal preference. It's kind of like telling a construction worker, you know, there's 2 different brands of shovels, right? Which shovel do you want to use? Or there's 2 different brands of drills. Which drill do you want to use? So I don't think it matters that much on the actual brokerage itself when it comes to being a profitable day trader, but obviously it's something you need. And the 2 that I recommend is going to be either using Webull or Thinkorswim. Then once you create an account with one of those 2 brokerages, then I'd recommend you go watch some tutorials on YouTube on how to use one of those brokerages, get familiar with it, dive into it, set up the charts the way you like it. We're not going to really have time to dive into that in this video. So that being said, step number 2, find a brokerage, get familiar with it. And now we can move on to step number 3. All right, so step number 3 is going to be putting together a system for your day trading. So now that you kind of have some education, you have a base layer of how day trading works. Once you get a brokerage set up, now you can actually create your own system for what determines whether you're going to place a trade or not. So the first thing you really need to understand when it comes to your system is understanding what are you actually trading, right? Are you going to trade options? Are you going to trade equity? Are you going to be a swing trader? Are you going to be a day trader? Or are you going to be more of a scalper where you're getting in and out of trades really fast? So me personally, I'm somewhere between a scalper and a day trader, right? So meaning I'll hold my trades from anywhere from 5 minutes all the way up to, an hour or two. And the second thing is understanding like what kind of stocks are you actually going to trade? So for me personally, I only trade the big market caps. I think it's really important, especially as a beginner, to only trade a few stocks. And the reason being is because then you can really focus on, following what that stock does, and you don't have to put so much time into finding, good stocks to trade, right? You don't have to put time into finding a watch list. You can really just focus on 1, 2, or 3 stocks. So for me personally, I pretty much do 90% of my trades on the S&P 500. Obviously, I trade options, which gives me a little more leverage and allows me to make more money with using less capital. But again, pretty much 90% of my trades is all from the S&P 500, whether I'm placing calls or placing puts, meaning making money on the upside or making money when the price goes down. Now, once you determine those two things, now you have to put together a system that you're going to use for whether you're going to enter trades or not. So for me personally, I look for 3 different things when it comes to entering a position. The first thing is I'm looking at the overall trend of the stock, right? What is the trend of the stock based on the time frames I'm looking at? The second thing I look for is the key levels. Where are the key support and resistance levels? And then third thing, lastly, I'm looking for price action. What are the candles telling me? What is the volume looking like? So let me go ahead and give you an example of a trade I took yesterday that follows my exact system. So as you saw earlier, I ended up making around $5,700 yesterday. So here's an example of one of the trades I took to get to that dollar amount. Now, as you can see, I only traded with around $2,400, right? So if you're trading options, you really don't need a lot of money to make good money trading stocks, right? As you can see, this is a 40% return, and I ended up making around $990 from this trade. So let's go ahead and actually go into the charts and look at this setup, why I took the trade, and how it actually followed my system. So I'm gonna go back to yesterday. This is around when we got some news. It was FOMC minutes. So as we can see, let me actually go to the exact time I entered. So I entered at 12:17. This is Mountain Standard Time, so this would actually be 2:17 Eastern Time. So let's go. All right, so this is actually right here. So around 14:17 Eastern Time. As you can see, this is where I actually entered the trade, somewhere in this range. Now, if we zoom out a little bit, as we can see, the trend was going down. First off, we got this high of day, and then we made this low, and then we made a lower high right here, and then we made a lower low. This is when we got that news. So we're really volatile right here. And as you can see, when this initially gapped down that massively based on the news wasn't that good. This is where I started to think about entering a trade where if the price came back up, I'd want to reject off this level so I can, basically trade puts and make money when the price goes down. So as we can see, we initially gapped down big. The trend was already down, right? So that's the first step of my system. The second step of my system is looking at those key levels. So this is more of a quicker trade. So I was looking at those intraday levels. So as we can see, once we came down, like I said, I was looking for that reject level. So for me, it made sense that the key level for it to reject would be around this price action right here, just because this was a prior support. And if we zoom out a little bit, this is actually a prior resistance earlier in the day. As we can see, we came up just to around this level when the market initially opened. So I knew this would be a good key level if I were to take this for an actual reject. So again, the trend is down, so we're looking for puts. So we're looking to make money when the price goes down. Number 2, the key level, right? I'm looking at a key intraday level. This is a prior resistance. It turned into support, right? I was looking for the price to come up around this level. Now, the third thing I was looking for that allows me to actually enter the trade is the price action, because we could easily keep going up and blow past this level. Obviously we didn't, right? So this is why I was looking at that third thing in my system, which is price action, looking at the candles. What are the candles telling me? So as we can see, when we came up right here, right, we have this doji candle. Now, usually when there's a doji candle, it means the price is starting to flatten, right? The bears and bulls are kind of like fighting each other, and it closed right in the middle. So what that tells me is price action could potentially reverse, right? And this is where I actually entered the trade right when this doji candle closed. And then we got some, a little bit of chop in here. We got a nice bear candle, and then we got a little bit of green candle, and then this is where the price action really started to fall. As you can see, the other thing I look for is volume. As you can see, as we went through these next couple candles down here at the bottom, volume was really declining, which tells me price action has a higher chance of actually going down. So as we can see, if we go back to this, right, this is where I entered right around here, and then I exited at 1221, so this will be 1421. So I trimmed half of the position at this 21 level, so I trimmed half of it around here just in case we're going to make a higher load and come back up. So I trimmed half of it right here, right when we got this flush on this candle, and then I still had a 50% position remaining, which I sold at that 1222 level. So as you can see, I trimmed the rest on this flush on this candle right here, right when we got back to that previous support that we made earlier. Obviously we went way lower after this, but I wasn't trying to, trade perfectly. I was just trying to catch, some of the trade, right? The majority of the trade. And ultimately that's how I end up making around 40% on this trade in just a few minutes by following my system, this exact system I use for every trade that I take. All right, so once you have your system, you're kind of dialing that in, you're practicing it, you're using it. The next thing you need to work on, step number 4, is going to be your execution. So you can have the best system in the world that has an 80% win rate that works, like I said, 80% of the time, but you can still lose money due to sloppy execution. And trust me, I've been there. Pretty much every red day I have is not because my system didn't work, it's because my execution wasn't there. So what do I mean by execution? So the first part of this is, are you taking trades that go against your system? And I know that sounds stupid, right? Why would you take a trade that goes against your system? But it's a common thing, especially for beginners. And even myself, I still make that mistake to this day. In fact, most of the days that I have red days is really just due to me not following my system, right? Whenever I break my rules, I usually have a red day. So how can you actually work on this and make your execution better for 2023 and beyond? I think it really comes down to just working on your discipline. The more discipline you have as a person, the better execution you're gonna have to follow your system and actually trade, to cut losses at a certain point, right? To have risk management in place. So how can you work on your discipline? Have you ever heard the saying, the way you do one thing is how you do everything? Well, that comes down to trading as well. So what I started working on is really, dialing in my diet, right? How I eat. If I can stay disciplined on how I eat, which is one of the things I really enjoy, I can probably stay disciplined with day trading. So I started following a really strict, healthy diet. If you're someone who, says they're gonna go to the gym 4 times per week, but you usually only end up going 2 times, 1 time, 3 times because certain things get in the way, that's gonna carry into your trading as well. So be super disciplined with your workout schedule. Another thing you can work on is actually meditating, right? So if you have trouble with discipline, work on meditating. Basically, meditation just helps you stay focused and not think about anything else for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long you meditate. That can help your discipline. Another thing you can do is read a book called Trading in the Zone. I actually just finished that book last night, and I think that book's an absolute game changer when it comes to dialing in your execution and trading psychology overall. All right, so the last step I'd recommend you do to start day trading profitably in 2023 is going to be journaling your trades. So this is something that I started doing that, again, was an absolute game changer for me. So I don't make any money from this software. I'm not affiliated with them. But I personally use a journal software called TradeZilla. Now, you don't have to use a software. You can just write it manually or use an Excel sheet, but it just makes it easier. It makes it more fun to use. So the way the software works is you basically just upload your trades every single day from wherever you're trading, whatever brokerage you're using. So for example, if I move myself real quick, as we can see, this is this week's numbers, right? January 1st to January 5th. As we can see, if we just look at some of my numbers, we can see that I've made around $7,600 this week so far. And if I move myself up, you can see my win rate has been 58%. So that means 42% of my trades have been losers. Now, how is it possible that I've still made $7,600 even though I only have like a 50% win rate? And the reason being is because, check this out, it shows you what your average winning trade is and your average losing trade. So as long as you can keep your winning trades way bigger than your losers, you can still have a 50% win rate and be profitable. And obviously the goal is to get this number higher, to 60 to 70% and still keep these same numbers, and you're going to be, way more profitable from there. So I think it's really important for looking at that stuff. It kind of just tracks everything. You can also go into your individual trades. Like, let's say some of the trades I took today were, way lighter just because I didn't want to have overconfidence from the big day I had yesterday. So today, as you can see, I took 2 trades. Both were pretty small, But if we just go into this, like this one, we made around 500. As you can see, it'll kind of just show you all the metrics you need to know. You know, it was a 14% gain. I can show where my stop loss was. I can rate the trade. I can add the setups. I can, you know, add tags of mistakes I made. And over time, if you do this for all your trades, you can see what are the most common mistakes you're making when you're trading? What are the most common setups? And really just all that different stuff you need to know. They also have like reporting section, and you can see all this different data that you can use to help you make better decisions going forward with your trading. So again, you can get really advanced with the software, but I really just look at that basic stuff of making sure my average winning trade is bigger than my average losing trade, looking at my win rate, and just having an overall calendar to look at to see how my trading performance is actually doing. So hopefully this video provided some value to you. If it did, all I ask you to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. It lets me know you want more videos like this. So use these 5 steps that we have listed right here, work on all of them, work on your discipline, work on your execution, and I guarantee you, you're gonna have a profitable year if you keep going forward and keep practicing this stuff day after day. If you want this video kind of recapped into a free book, I have a free trading guide right here you can download. It's basically all these 5 steps I list in this video recapped into this book. You can save it on your phone and go back to this book at any time if you want to download it. So anyways, if you do want a free copy of this book, all you have to do is go to the first link in the description below, or just go over to this link right here and you can download it for free. So anyways, guys, that being said, I will see you in my next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. As always, trade smart, trade safe, and I will see you in my next video.